Welcome to Flight Mode. I'm your host, Leroy Maluka,
I'm your host, Angelo.
and today we have our first special guest, none other than Mr. Zaid Omar. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Leroy. Thank you, Angelo.
Perfect. Mr. Angelo, you want to kick off the conversation?
I'd first like to determine how do I get the privilege of being on your first episode?
Well, the history, the relationship, I think that it's only right that we kick off Flight Mode and we set the bar. Set the bar high. We give you your flowers while you're here and celebrate you for what you have contributed to the game. And yeah, I think I'm excited for this one.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege.
I think Leroy is being way too diplomatic, man. We have quiet people on the show. we be having quiet people on the show. It's the third episode. Leroy was the first one. I was the second one. So this is you're the first of the special guests that we have on the show. We do have a list. We do have the list.
Okay.
You are right on top.
Yeah.
And I think this is the third one officially. The first guest.
Yeah.
Come onto the show and let me just kick off, man. You've been a massive influence on South African football landscape. So first, but we should start there, man. What drew you to the game? And I mean, you've been in here almost 3 decades, almost. And what has kept you there for and to get such longevity in the game? I think let's start there.
Firstly, thank you again for having me on your first show. And I'm humbled that you think that I've had an impact on South African football. My passion, my affinity to the game came as a young boy playing with the ball. And the coaches back then said, this kid can control the ball. The ball isn't controlling him.
Yeah.
Back in the day, that was the thing.
If
you wanted to play the game, can you manipulate the ball?
Yeah.
Can you caress the ball? Is the ball controlling you or are you controlling the ball? And I think I enjoyed playing the game, and that's where my passion grew for the game. And from there, I pursued it more. I wanted more. I wanted to know more about the game. I wanted to play more. And, that's where I think most of our passion or everybody's passion starts. I wanted to play at the highest level.
Yeah.
And I wanted to I wanted to know everything.
Yeah.
And that's where my passion for the game started. And I think I've been privileged and I've been honored and blessed to be able to pursue it as a career.
Wow.
Brilliant.
I think I agree with that because first and foremost, can we control the ball? Is the ball controlling you? I think I'm going to take that for me and make that note for me and just keep it in here. I think Leroy also, you have a special bond here going on. So more on that.
A beautiful relationship. And, obviously.
Just remind me when that relationship started.
Ooh. Putting me on the spot here.
I was trying to figure it out.
Putting me on the spot here, but I think it was 2007. Yeah? See? Not too bad.
Around 2007.
Yeah, around 2007.
So the first time I met Leroy, again, referring to that point you made, I made earlier, he could control the ball.
Oh, wow.
The ball wasn't controlling him. And he could do more than just control the ball. He could manipulate the game. He could influence the game. And that's, I think, where our relationship started. His dad called me up, Mr. Dennis Maluka, and insisted I've got a talented son. I'd like you to have a look at him. And he had his first game, call it the training game, at the Malta Park B field, which is where the AstroTurf is currently. And we used to have training games. On a Saturday would be a league match, Vodacom League. And on a Sunday, we'd have a training game for those players who didn't get enough game time or to have a look at some players and maintain the match fitness of those players who didn't necessarily get 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So Saturday and Sunday would be a training session about a match, and we would arrange a high-level friendly match.
Yeah.
And when Mr. Dennis Maluka called me, I didn't know this guy from anywhere. So I've got this son that is talented, that has been on the football scene. I'd like you to consider him and have a look at him. And I said, sure, bring him down. The legendary Reggie Yankees was the head coach of our Vodacom team back then. And we had a look at him and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Was this quite here? Were you good?
I think, good enough. But yeah, like you mentioned, you know,
Yeah.
the longevity and in the game and what you know, gave to the game. So now my question is like, what was like me being a former player playing for your club? What was like, you know, the values, the morals that you tried to install in players, in staff, and people that you worked with? What are those like key values that
So my values was shaped at home. My parents weren't wealthy, but we had everything. They made sure that we had everything in the house. And the most important thing they wanted to provide us was life skills that will make you successful. Discipline, respect, faith. And my journey through life up until now is still based on those values which my parents imparted on me. And as I traveled through my journey in the world and in life, I picked up that those are the best values, skills.
Yeah.
And I've based my life on that. Your religion, your faith, top businesses has the same values,
Yeah.
the same principles. And when I started playing football from the early 80s into the 90s, and I experienced professional football and professional clubs, I discovered that the top professionals in the world, whether it's a coach or manager or the top business people in the world, has the same values of respect and discipline and commitment,
Yeah.
and loyalty. And so when I started our club, the first thing that I wanted to do was bring about change to South African football in a very simple way: structure, discipline, and respect. And so when Leroy first came to play for FC Kapstadt, he would remember and he would tell you that the first thing that he picked up at the club was how you carry yourself, your discipline, your respect for yourself, your respect for your teammate, your respect for your opponent, and your respect for yourself. And that's been the journey. And up until today, those are the values and the culture of the club. Whether it's in my business, whether it's at home, whatever I do, discipline, respect, loyalty, and commitment is always going to be the principles that is foremost in my thinking and my vision to achieve something.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's amazing. Because once you have that foundation, then, you know, everything is possible after that.
Yeah.
And, like you spent many years in media, of course, you know, before stepping into football or like buying a club or starting a football club. And what was that transition like for you, stepping out of media or still maybe being in media, but now focusing also on football?
So my career in sport had started as a footballer when I wanted to become a professional footballer. So in the apartheid era, there was no real professional football league. There was a professional league, but there was no real professional league.
Yeah.
You couldn't really make a living out of playing professional football in that so-called professional era. And that pushed me towards focusing on my studies along with my parents. Listen, you're not going to make a living out of football.
Yeah.
Go and study. And they pushed me to study, even though I wanted to pursue a professional football career. And in my era, in my generation, the biggest achievement in South African football was Bafana winning the Africa Cup of Nations in 1995. And that still remains up until today the most talented South African football generation ever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's a dispute to that.
Yeah.
The very same side went to the FIFA World Cup in 1998 in France.
Yeah.
Majority of those players went. And all of those players that won the South African AFCON went on to play professional football in Europe and had highly successful careers. So that generation proved to me that, am I better than them? Couldn't I make the Bafana team? Couldn't I make it better as a professional footballer? Yeah. No. That bar tells you there was a generation of talented footballers in that era between 1990 or late 80s and the early 2000s. There was, South Africa was spoilt with talented footballers.
Yeah.
And the history is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I then followed my dream of trying to be continue playing competitive football. My parents pushed me to go and study, and against the wishes of my late dad, he asked me after matric, so what are you going to go study? I said, I'd like to study sports science, some degree in sport. He said, but you're not really going to make any money out of it. But he knew I was passionate about sport.
Yeah.
And I went and studied human movement studies at UWC.
Okay.
And from there, I majored in English, media studies, and there's a whole range of stuff you can do in that degree and faculty.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be close to the game. And my pathway took me towards media. Started writing articles, wanted to make an impact.
Yeah.
Bring a message across to South African sport.
Yeah.
And that's where things started. I started writing, started doing community radio at Bush Radio and at Voice of the Cape. And then from there, your work creates a demand for you.
Yeah.
And then from there, I started working in television. And then my passion for football was still with me. I didn't want to give up the game. I still played, but and then I discovered I need to, in your research in media, you do a lot of research in terms of what is the good of South African football, what's the bad of South African football, and what direction should South African football do. Because you're researching sport, whether it's rugby, cricket, or soccer, you're researching sport.
Yeah.
Defining the good of South African sport, the bad of South African sport, and the direction South African sport should take. And what is that direction?
Yeah.
And I felt that a lot of football organizations and sporting organizations was not on that journey to achieve the best in the world.
Yeah.
And I started questioning myself, but I'm identifying this. I'm presenting this in media and in television and on radio. But what am I doing about it? If I tend to think that I have some small bit of knowledge, what am I doing about it? And then I challenged myself. And I opened FC Kapstadt in the year 2000. And we became an official registered club in 2002.
Okay.
And then, of course, the journey started when we purchased then Vodacom second division franchise, which is now the ABC Motsepe League. And, ambitious as you are, the vision was to get into the Premier Soccer League. But very quick, you discover that the reality of South African football and the demands of running a football club is something else.
It's chaotic. Yeah.
Okay. Because I want to jump on that, Zaid. It's like with all you've studied, there's a lot of stuff that you've experienced, and obviously some tough times and that. How do you remain consistent, even being faced with that kind of harsh realities? And I mean, that wasn't the first face off with harsh realities. You know what I mean? So how do you remain consistent, remaining ambitious, have goals, have big goals, and not just this fly by night stuff? What's the
So 25 years later, I probably wanted to quit to close the club 25 million times.
Wow.
Every single day, football challenges you. Mentally, emotionally, financially. It challenges you. It tests you.
Yeah.
So you've got to find, your mission in life. What are we here for? God placed us here.
Your purpose, yeah.
And what is our purpose as humans? Do you want to make an impact? You got to decide what you want to do. What is you do?
Yeah.
What is your talent? What is your mission? What is the power you have? Everybody has magic and everybody has power. So what is your power? What is your mission in life?
Yeah.
And I could have pursued my media career in a greater scale. And folks, I love media. I love content. I love doing what you're doing. It's another passion of mine. I've got a few other passions outside of sport, but I love content. I love being creative. And you've got the first few years in the Vodacom League, the first year we could have won the league. So you don't win the league and you're like, a whole year of resources and energy and maybe a referee's decision or some strange scenario.
Yeah.
Disenchants you from the game and wanting you to give up. And you got to keep going, because ultimately, as a sportsman, we are sportsmen and we have to have good sportsmanship. So what is sportsmanship? You're going to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every difficulty is a defeat. So do you want to do you just want to play the game when you win?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the outlook on life. You can't walk through the world just identifying the bad times.
Yeah.
Just want to live on the when the sun shines. The world doesn't work like that. Life isn't about the rosy days. It's going to be tough times. It's going to be hard times. It's going to be success. It's going to be failure. So you've got to make peace with that, and you've got to also strike a fine line between you running a business, because ultimately at that level, football club is a business.
Yeah.
But also there's a sporting aspect, there's a social aspect, and there's a community aspect. And again, why did I start the club? I wanted to bring about change. I wanted to make impact.
Yeah.
And so you constantly have to keep in the top of your mind, you want to make a positive impact, and you're not going to live through life through the bad times. And there is more bad than good. Wow. So it's hard. So when people out there, the call it the gallery, out there, makes comment about your organization or your journey as a footballer or as an administrator or somebody who runs an organization or a football club, I constantly have to remind myself, who is making comment? Have they run a football club
making
before?
The noise? Yeah.
Have you the word out from the gallery?
Yeah. Have you run a football club before? Do you know what it takes to run a football club? Have you run a media organization before?
Yeah.
Do you know what it takes to raise funds or to have funding, or where the funding comes from to run a football club or an organization? Yeah. Do you know what?
No,
you don't.
Yeah.
But you've got these, very opinionated opinions coming from the galleries, telling Alex Ferguson how to win the league.
Yeah.
How can you tell Alex Ferguson how to win the league?
Yeah.
How to run Manchester United?
Tell Messi how to dribble.
But guess what? There's a plethora of people who will tell Alex Ferguson, listen, you should have played Cole over York or Keane over whoever.
Yeah.
Come on. Where's the respect?
So
I'm not saying I'm saying Alex Ferguson, but what I'm saying is the first 10 or 5 years of running a football club was extremely hard. Tough. Like I said, every second week I wanted to close the club and say, what have I done?
Yeah.
And again, I went against the will of my father's advice. What you want to do is go have a sports career. But when you're doing something you're passionate about, you don't work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And I was passionate about sport and I enjoyed everything.
Yeah.
But my dad also said to me, why do you want to open a football club?
Yeah.
It's an abusive relationship you're going to encounter. And it's been abuse.
Yeah.
It's been abuse.
Yeah.
But I can also reflect back and say that I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
It's developed me. It's evolved me. I have deep understanding in South African football. And, running a football club brought me a certain education and experience to when I did my media career. I was a lot more equipped than a host, a lot more other peers in the media industry. Yeah. I knew a lot more than a normal reporter or presenter or producer, with respect to them.
Yeah.
Because I had insight.
Yeah.
So I kind of was on both sides of the line, knowing in-depth understanding of what it is to run a football club, what it is to coach a team, what it requires, dynamics between players and the coach, and
resources,
and resources and administration with the LFA or with SAFA or with the Premier Soccer League.
Yeah,
a lot more detail. And that gave me a deeper understanding, and along with my education and my playing days. So all of that, I think, gave me a unique position in running a football club and reporting and presenting football shows and understanding. And I had enjoyed a lot more respect from top coaches in the world because they understood. Yes, this is a presenter or producer or journalist, but he knows a bit more.
Yeah.
He understands a bit more.
He has his own football club. Yeah. He knows how it works.
I've got my coaching badges.
Yeah.
I've played.
Yeah.
So the dynamics are different.
Yeah.
It does make it difficult in some instances as well, because people tend to judge you. Okay, you either part of media or you're part of administration. So you're playing on two sides of the divide here. And it can become challenging.
Yeah.
And become quite complex.
Because they could be intimidated as well.
Yeah.
Because you know too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're coming for the position. I know exactly what you're talking about, because I experienced the same. Because for me as a player, being a player, then making the transition over to being a head coach.
Yeah.
After being a head coach, then assistant coach.
Yeah.
Then from the assistant coach into performance.
Yeah.
So you have all this knowledge. So now, you're a threat.
Yeah.
Because
the relationship with you and the players are no longer the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the coaching staff now know that, hey, this guy, he's seen almost everything.
Yeah.
So the ammunition is, he's loaded.
Yeah.
So now they're intimidated. But, I think, like what you have, contributed to South African football has been like amazing, especially in Cape Town. And not only from a media aspect, but also from a football aspect. And like there's, we know like you didn't only just like have the second division team, but we back then had players that went on, like myself, that went on and achieved, like a successful career. Today, you're focusing on a different aspect of the game, which is more youth development. And then how difficult was it for you to say that, hey, I don't want to focus on the winning anymore, because now you were up there competing to get into the top league, the PSL. So now you have to make the transition into, listen, I'm going to now put my focus in the youth.
Yeah.
So that could have been also like a challenge as far as, the mental aspect.
So the first 10 years of FC Kapstadt was obviously was running a professional club, trying to get into the Premier Soccer League, from the second division into the first division into the Premier Soccer League. And we pushed hard. In fact, when Leroy joined, the first year Leroy came, we were battling a relegation fight.
Yeah.
So year 1, we were in for the league title. Year 2, we were in for the league title. Yes. So just imagine, year 1, league title. We missed the league title by a couple of points, 2 points. Next year, you lose it by 1 point or goal difference. I can't remember. And in the third year, Leroy is here, and you're having this talented, emerging young player. Back then, there wasn't this under rule.
Anyone can play.
Yeah. We're battling a relegation fight. Tough. And so in that time, because you have performance clauses in your sponsorship agreements, you're losing sponsorship because you need to be in the top 3. Performance clauses.
Yeah.
So you don't have the financial support anymore. And now it's like you're in a hole and you're going deeper down in the hole. And we avoided relegation, but it was a strategic change. And obviously in that time, Reggie was the head coach, and then we kind of just changed coaches, and Leroy will remember we brought in Kevin Johnson. And he tweaked things, little things, going back to basics. And he said to me before he left, he was head of youth at Ajax Cape Town, and Dad released him, and he came to us, joined us. And he said to me, what you have is very unique. Keep on going in the journey, but you kind of walked away off the path. And the last 10 games of that relegation battle, we went unbeaten. And he said to me at the end of the season, if you could be unbeaten the last 10 games of the season, the very same squad can win the league the following year. And again, he made a few recommendations in terms of the squad and adjustments to our playing philosophy. And the very following year, Leroy was here. First 10 games, first 12 on top of the log.
Sure.
We went into the December break, top of the log.
Yeah.
On course to win the league title. Phenomenal squad. Fantastic football. Lovely organization. Unique, professional, clean, respect, discipline, loyal.
Yeah.
Unique. Over the 25 years, that still stays as one of the beacons of our achievement in operation, in terms of how the club operated.
The identity. Because when back then, when they saw FC Kapstadt, they knew. They can see that these guys are different.
Unique.
They're different.
We blazed the trail in South African football from the first year to that particular year. When I mean blazing a trail, we did unique things. South African football hadn't, for example, social media is big these days. South African football clubs back then didn't have a website. We had a website. South African professional teams or clubs in the ABC Motsepe League or Vodacom League on NFD or PSL never trained in the stadium. We trained in the stadium. We trained in kit. That was stuff that wasn't heard or seen of. Unique stuff.
Yeah.
The way, a playing philosophy we had from day one. We had a playing philosophy, and he'll tell you, and a playing philosophy on a whiteboard that actually gets executed on the field. And I can still remember moments and goals and how that came about. And clubs were like, wow, what is this? Unique, blazing a trail in South African football. And Leroy was part of that. He was one of those trailblazers in adopting and embracing and implementing that philosophy and discipline. You know, Leroy would come. If you would see Leroy walking in or any of his teammates at the training field, you'd see these guys are serious. You know, they're arriving fresh. And let's say Dear Makarima.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're on point.
Yeah.
Discipline, focus. They're coming to training. They're not fooling around. They're coming to intensely train. We were based in Greenpoint. It was a tranquil space. You know, they had their moments where they had fool around and have fun, but that's part of what's required. But when the whistle went and we started training, it was intense. They pushed each other. So journeying from trying to get into the Premier Soccer League, from ABC Motsepe League or the Vodacom League, which is now known, we had our steps. We didn't win the league that year. We failed in our project in winning the league, and then we had a partnership, and we ended up in the National First Division. I had a partnership with someone, a businessman, and we bought the National First Division franchise. And Leroy played in that First Division franchise, but the vision of that particular businessman and mine, or the vision of the club, clashed. It wasn't the same vision. We originally thought it was the same vision, but we discovered later that it actually wasn't the same vision, because more business people came and became interested in the project and came on board, and that kind of was the point where the disagreements came about. And then we parted ways. And then I took a break from football for about 6 months and decided, okay, what am I going to do next? Am I walking away from football? Or what is the next journey?
Yeah.
And I decided, focusing on youth development is something that I want to do.
Yeah.
Making a bigger impact, catching them early.
Yeah.
And from around 2009 to now, the focus of the club has not been trying to get into the Premier Soccer League, but to make an impact. And what sort of impact? Not an impact to create professional footballers, but to set young athletes on a pathway that prepares them better for the world, not for football, for the world. Yeah. So the message to the era, the professional era, which Ludo formed part of, was always discipline, culture, respect, loyalty, and reach for the world, reach for the stars, reach for the international stage. Dream big. Don't dream of Mamelodi Sundowns or Kaizer Chiefs, with respect to them. They're the biggest clubs in the country, but try and reach for the stars, and
Yeah.
and
Go to Europe.
And I used to tell them about my experiences in Europe. This is what you're going to see. You can't imagine it. And the biggest message that I give from day one up until now, is always, you all want to be professional athletes or professionals in business. But you know what it takes to be a professional?
Wow.
You have to be a professional now while you're an amateur,
before
you become a professional.
Yes.
And
preparation.
Yeah. And what is that?
Habits,
Discipline,
thinking, mindset,
lifestyle, discipline,
consistency,
respect, loyalty.
Yeah.
And sadly, in South African football, the biggest challenge I have in South African football, in South African sport, or in business today in South Africa, is the lack of emerging talent not having respect, discipline, and loyalty.
Massive.
Sad reality.
That's massive.
That is the biggest challenge, I think, and lesson that I've learned in South African sport and business. People don't have the loyalty, the discipline, the respect. And when I say loyalty, you've got to go through the process.
Yeah.
Everybody is looking for shortcuts.
Mm.
I'm going to go to that organization or to that club.
Yeah.
There's talented players there. That's fashionable now. I'm not going to give my loyalty or go follow the process.
Yeah. Be patient.
Yeah. No patience. No,
Yeah.
patience. Absolutely no patience.
Yeah.
And that's sadly the bad cloud hanging over South African sport.
There's a quote that says, as you're speaking now, there's a quote that says, the lift to success is broken. You have to use the steps.
Yeah.
The lift to success, there's no shortcuts.
Yeah.
You have to use the steps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they would try and say, okay, that's the steps. So how am I going to get there quicker?
Yeah.
But not realizing that step 1 is going to make you stronger in your legs. Step 2 will make your arms stronger.
Character.
Step 3 is gonna be nutrition.
Endurance.
Let's try and find
the shortcut.
And then when they get there, they fall short. They fall short because they didn't go through the process.
Yeah. So Cape Town in South Africa has enormous amounts of talent,
100%.
but it cannot get to the point of success.
Yeah.
Because not wanting to follow climb the ladder.
Yeah.
And I think a big problem is there's not enough guidance provided for these players. because when I speak to my friends in Europe and I tell them, okay, I have this youngster, I know this player. The question is not, is he talented enough? Because they trust me if I see a player. The question is he mentally ready?
Wow.
So it's the mentality.
So Leroy tells you this message now, and I used to tell them that message back then.
20 years ago.
20 years ago, and 25 years ago, and I would say to them, I've got all these contacts. And he knows the story. I've got all these contacts. I've got direct line to the boss of this particular big club. The same question they're asking me is, you've got talent, and we know there's talent in Africa, but do they have the professional mentality?
Unfortunately.
And I still say that message, and it keeps on looking at me like, fucking shit.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So how many players have you taken to Europe? Or they asking me.
Yeah.
I can't take anyone because there's no. I don't want to embarrass myself.
How many was it?
Yeah. You're gonna close the door.
Fails, I close the door for everyone.
For
For 25 years, I'm waiting on that particular individual.
Yeah.
That's not going to risk my reputation.
No, man, let's do something, man. Guys, let's do something about that. I would like to disagree with you, Roy. Please don't edit this out there.
Yeah, go on.
Please.
Go on.
Maybe, look, there is enough guidance.
Yeah.
But the constituents or the people or the players that needs this guidance, they don't take it.
Yeah.
They don't want to listen to people that has gone through that know certain things because they know better.
Yeah.
Like just trust. Uncle Zaid,
No.
Trust. We can show you a pathway. You mentioned pathway. We can show you a pathway. We can tell you how to get there.
Yeah.
Trust us.
But now
They don't want to.
They don't.
let's get a bit more deeper. Because now you're saying that there's guidance.
It's enough.
Yeah, there's enough. But can you guide a player at Cape Town City? No. Because you are on the outside.
Oh, no, I can't do that.
But no. But this is my point.
Okay.
My point is, when I say there's not enough guidance, who's the most important of the people close to the player?
Yeah.
The parent, and the coach.
And the peers.
That's it.
They need to guide.
They need to guide. So this is why I'm saying there's not enough guidance.
I hear you.
Because there's guidance outside everywhere, but the people that spend the most time with the player,
they
don't have the knowledge to guide.
So parents can be your biggest asset and ally, and they can be the biggest.
Yeah.
A stumbling block, obstacle. 100%.
Then you get agents that's coming into the equation. Then you've got coaches from different clubs. So I'm seeing Angelo. Angelo can play. I need to get Angelo away from that particular club.
The influence.
Yeah, I need to get him away. I need him.
Oh, it's a cash cow.
For my project or for my ambition. I need him. I need to discredit that club that Angelo is at.
Yeah.
And that guidance that Angelo is getting at that club. I need to discredit that club. I need to discredit that administrator there. That administrator and that club that is invested in Angelo. So, for example, before Leroy joined FC Kapstadt, where was he? Where did he play his grassroots football? Who taught him to kick a ball? He had natural ability, but somebody had to take him away there.
Yeah.
Whether good or bad. But the point is, coming back to your point is, so the guidance is it the correct guidance? Is it somebody that's experienced? Does he know what he's talking about? Does he have the right experience? There's a lot of people in South African football that has experience.
Yeah.
But there's
too
many that doesn't.
And
that influences kids. And the other problem is
social media.
Yeah.
Back then there wasn't this type of influence.
Yeah.
Today you have social media telling you this is the trend, this is the way, this is the pathway. Dream football.
What is
can
that?
Take you to Europe.
Yeah. What does that mean? Yeah. So
and kids, Dad, I want to go to dream football.
Yeah.
Or football, follow the stars football.
Yeah.
Getting sold a pipe dream. You know, that's a topic that's a 3-part series.
It's different now, 100%. So there's a lot of influences. There's a lot of good influences. There's bad influences. But it's about trust.
Yeah. And also surrounding yourself with the right people.
So you'd also see if you do research, and I've done this in my own time, annually. If you do research on following John's football career, you would notice by the time John is between the age of 8 and 16, average, you'd be at maybe 8 clubs. 6 to 8 clubs.
Yeah.
Biggest problem in South African football.
Yeah.
Biggest problem in Cape Town football. So I'm not going to stick it out at
I'm not getting picked.
I'm not getting picked at this club. I don't want to fight for it. I don't want to build up resilience. My dad said, this coach favors, let's go. Shortcut. It's mistake number 1. So that kind of builds a solution in the child's psyche.
Yeah.
I run. I go somewhere else. So club hop.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. So you don't settle. You don't develop. You think you're developing. Because now you're playing with a slightly better team. You think you're developing.
Because you're winning.
But you're not developing.
Yeah.
And so the minute that club takes a dip in form, or the coach leaves, or something happens, or it starts raining.
Yeah.
Last game you saw, no.
Yeah.
You got to go there.
Yeah.
Tough times. No. We can't go through tough times.
Yeah.
We can't go. So adversity is
Getting avoided.
Yeah.
So you're not going to build.
Yeah.
So if you talk proper football coaching, development plans, you're talking about blocks. You're talking about blocks.
Periodization.
You talk about development outcomes in 2 years, a year,
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah.
People don't want to go through 2 years of development.
Yeah.
No, we want it now.
Discipline development is a thing in sports science.
Yeah.
Let's look at an example, a successful South African footballer. Randomly, let's choose one.
Benny McCarthy.
Oh, let's say Quentin Fortune.
Yeah.
So Quentin Fortune left South Africa, and the trials and tribulations and the hard times he went through before he signed his first Premier Soccer League contract. Not Premier Soccer League, Premier League contract. Let's talk about that journey. Sure. And Quentin his eyes will probably, that's the true message. Yeah. That's the message you want to hear. So what's Benny's journey before he signed his first PSL contract? What is Sean Bartlett's journey before he signed his first Premier Soccer League contract? Was he at an academy? The majority of South Africa's most successful footballers did not go through academy. Yes. Was Duncan Crowe? I said to Duncan Crowe the other day, did you come through an academy when you were developed as a footballer? Who taught you to kick? But these days, academy football is the route.
It's the go-to, yeah.
No. Yeah. Natural development with
streetwise.
For me, natural development with intelligence is the route.
Yeah.
What is that intelligence? A guide, an experienced, educated mind.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
So if you look at the pathway of to success in whether it's business or academics or sport, you've got to go through that period where you are disciplined, loyal, and committed.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, like with the guidance, and therefore it's very important that we educate the coaches. Because if the coach is not educated enough, what is the player getting?
YouTube. He's getting YouTube.
You know what I mean? So I think.
So here's a real life example. So Dennis Maluka calls me up. I want you to consider my son. Have a look at him in his first game. He's pretty impressive. He dances.
Oh.
He dances. He wants to dance. He over-elaborates.
I don't know what he's talking about.
So first question, Leroy, play the ball quicker. Holding on too long. But I knew he wanted to impress us. He wanted to impress. So he's got to show. He's got to show his flair. Yeah. And he had flair. That's also his natural game. But at the pace of the Vodacom League at the time and his age, he's got
physicality.
They're going to give you one big
He's 19, you see, and there was no unders rule, so you're playing against ex-pros, established pros, experienced pros. And so this is an emerging talent. So okay. We'll bring him into this. So I said to Mr. Maluka, we'll bring him into the squad. We're going to guide him. Release the ball. Play to our system. Play to the game plan. So that's discipline. That takes discipline. Playing to the game plan. Taking the instruction. Accepting it. So he was very apprehensive. This is Leroy Maluka. I'm apprehensive. So in time, we had to, evolve him and change him and make him understand that this is the system. And the players had to kind of make him embrace, look at this works. So over time he got, and when he started perfecting it,
fly.
What a player to watch.
Fly.
Based on the system.
Wow.
So coming back to the guidance, Mr. Maluka was also quite ambitious. He wanted Leroy to get into the Premier League or to go to Europe quicker. I had to be patient. And if you know Mr. Dennis Maluka, he's a strong character.
Yes.
He
Principle.
Yeah, he wants
Principle.
he wants things to happen. And you had to make him understand that it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to happen in time, when the time is right. And we used to say to all the players in the change room and to Leroy and to Mr. Maluka, he's got to stand out like a sore thumb over a period of 10 games. Not 1 game, not 2 games, not 3 games. Half the season, consistent throughout the game. Then you're ready, right? Dominate this league. Then you dominate the National First Division. Then Premier Soccer League doors will open. Or we know you've got talent. Let's go to Europe and let's explore this. And you know, he had patience. I think you were a total of 3 seasons with us. Yeah. And you know that's a block of development. He wasn't here for 6 months. He wasn't here for 1 year.
3 full fledged.
And I think he had a memorable time here, a very good memorable time here, and development time, which was good for him. It set him up, and that's one of the things that I'm proud of. There's a host of players which I'm proud of in his era. Proud of not necessarily professional footballers, what they've become,
100%.
because I know the values that we instill, the culture of the club they're still carrying that with them. I know it. They might not acknowledge it or know it or say it.
And I think that there is massive there, Zaid, where you kind of draw the line between the ambition to become a pro footballer but not having the character. You have the talent, not necessarily the character.
Mentality,
that
the personality.
You know what I mean? That 2 things needs to be like this. And now even some of them didn't make it as a pro, but they're still positive citizens. They you know what I mean?
So if you ask Leroy what is there that he took with him from his time at FC Kapstadt when he eventually played professional football in Finland, he has the answer. And I know he has a positive answer. I know.
Yeah. Now, for me, I think it was preparation, because you need to be in the right environment in order to develop. And that is, you don't know it at that time, but it's your preparation for what is next. And that's.
So we might not have won the Vodacom Second Division League title. We might not have had a massive amount of cup football success.
Yeah.
But success is different definitions to success for different people.
Yes.
That's a success story. There's different success stories. The way we operated our footballing culture, operational model was a successful one, was a unique one, was a trailblazing one. And that success is not just 3 points and a trophy in the cabinet, or 5 players ending up in the Bafana team or playing in the Premier Soccer League. So those are the successes and those are the motivations that keeps me going. You know, we do something unique. We're constantly evolving. The club is run very uniquely. For the past 25 years, unique. Those in the know, those who's been here, those who knows me, those who knows and understands how a football club operates, knows that. Not many people know that from the outside looking in.
I've got a quick question, man. Your travels, does that, I mean, it's a simple answer, I think. Your travels, has that got an impact on your approach to your running of the club? Your
Traveling the country, traveling the world has definitely had an impact in my thinking.
And more specifically.
Yeah, and the direction you want to lead your organization, whether it's business, whether it's your family, whether it's football club.
Yes.
It's definitely, and I encourage my kids, go and travel, go and explore the world. It's the best education.
Yeah.
It's almost like a
PhD.
No, yeah. But people tend to make it, it's like a adage. It's a metaphor.
It's mine.
It's the truth.
It's something that can
it's the truth.
Yeah.
So when I started traveling, most of my travels came through my media career. So I cover, for example, the FIFA World Cup.
Wow.
Or I cover Red Bull Air Show.
Yeah.
Or I cover whatever the international sports event is that is an assignment, and I cover and experience how events are rolled out on a top international standard. Whether it's a FIFA World Cup, a Rugby World Cup, or a Cricket World Cup, or whatever international sports.
Yeah.
This is the standard.
Yeah. Here we go.
This standard.
There we go.
So, like I said earlier, before you become a pro, you should start trying carrying yourself like a pro. So, I said to myself, I'm going to try and do everything like a pro.
Come on.
Even if I'm not a pro.
Come on.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run an amateur club like a professional club. I'm going to run my small business like a big corporate. I'm going to I'm going to walk like a big,
Come on.
successful, respectful individual.
Yeah.
And everything I want to do, you have to do it like now. Let me touch you on the media and media side. When you're working in television and in the media industry, and you're presenting to 20 million people on national television, one mistake, the whole country sees it. So there's no time for errors.
Yeah.
Attention to detail is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Your facts has to be up top. There's no social media back then. Everybody watches television, listens to radio. There's no time for errors. You cannot make a mistake. So your preparation, your pre-planning, your program planning has to be top. So that kind of skills, stuck with me for the rest of my life. Whether it is running my football club, whether it is going for a walk on the beach, preparation, planning, and it sticks with you. And that's the difference between probably sometimes a big problem for me, because I always want things to be proper. I want the best pitch.
Yeah.
Leroy will tell you, when you came to play for FC Kapstadt back then, you always saw a top-notch pitch. And when we played away, I was always complaining because I wanted the best pitch. Because I wanted both teams. I don't want it just for my club. But it rose the standard. So a lot more clubs started ensuring that they have better fields.
Demanding.
Yeah. You raise the bar.
Yeah.
And when you raise the bar, people complain, what is he trying? But they kind of, that's actually the way.
Yeah.
Training kit. Okay, let's train kit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Philosophy. Is it philosophy? Okay, philosophy. So there's this phrase in Cape Town, Jibble for your choir, and I'm going to touch on that.
Hey.
Choir field. Nice field for the choir. Training kit for the choir. Tracksuits for the choir.
Yeah.
The way they walking in respectfully at the match venue is you level feel choir. You level feel you fancy. You're sturdy.
Yeah.
That was the tags that we had.
We had to deal with,
you regarding yourselves as Galacticos, and we were the Galacticos, quite frankly. But coming back to the point is the media industry impacted me in that way. I like nice things, but at the same time, the media industry demanded that you ensure that whatever you present, putting out there to the masses in terms of television, radio, and in media, you want to give facts, integrity, quality, and creativity.
Yeah.
So when it came to the football club, I still today only deliver facts, quality, and what is right.
Yeah.
Integrity, discipline, respect. So I won't change things. And people don't understand this club, and majority of the world in South African football don't understand what it takes to run business and run a football club. And they're saying football is business. Football isn't business. Football's always been business.
Yeah.
Football business is not a sensible business. It's not a logical business. Football business doesn't make sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You've got to pump in millions and you get zero back.
Yeah.
You hope for the best.
But people don't see the millions you pump in, but they
Expect.
they expect and they think that there's millions in return. I've not had a single cent rand in return from all the millions that I pumped in South African football.
Wow.
And I'm not a wealthy man.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the advice my dad gave me in the formative and early years was abusive relationship. You're going to waste your money.
It's all true.
It's true. But did football choose me? I don't know. Did football identify me? Did I identify football? I don't know.
I think so.
I think what I have done is made a small impact on the lives of the people that I've touched through the club.
And I think, Roy, just allow me. I think it's come full circle. And I can, to a certain extent, I think he can also, to a certain extent, relate to that it's come full circle, because now we were once upon a time that small boy that needed that voice of positivity, that voice of guidance, that voice. So now, some of us,
and often Leroy didn't listen, but
you see,
it's part of the journey.
It's part of the journey.
Yeah,
that's the process.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now it's come full circle, because now we want to be that sounding board. We want to be that guidance. We want to be that person that guides the next generation. You know.
Fantastic.
And your travels, I mean, I've traveled, he's traveled yourself as well, traveled as well. So that perspective we were tired of mediocrity.
Yeah.
We were tired of being mediocre.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you decide you don't want mediocre, those you quiet.
Yeah.
No man, let's settle the thing here. Ons wil nie vir ons quiet. Ons is quiet.
In my youth, when I grew up, I often it is somebody used to say to me, "Jy wil vir jou kwaai." And I struggled with that phrase.
Yes.
And I met a gentleman. He was he's passed on. He used to live in Boekamp. He's a professor in Afrikaans.
Wow.
In linguistics, but specifically in Afrikaans.
Okay.
The history of South African the language of South came from Dutch and how it even and phrases and the things we kind of formulated through Afrikaans.
Yeah.
And through a conversation, family friend, we were discussing Jy wil vir jou kwaai. And often in my younger years, and even up until today, people would say to me, and I was saying it to one of our club administrators, she came to me and she said to me, "Almal sê FC Kapstadt wil vir hulle kwaai." I said, let me explain to you something. I struggled with that phrase for the greater part of my life.
Yeah.
So for your quiet, I took it personal. I took offense. But then this gentleman that I was telling you about, that was doing deep research on Afrikaans and language, was saying to me, the actual interpretation of Jy wil vir jou kwaai is actually that person is actually telling you Jy is kwaai.
Yeah. But it makes sense.
Leroy Maluka wil vir hom kwaai. That person that says to you that is actually telling you kwaai. But with a bit of, if you let it say, I can so say.
Yeah. It makes sense.
So when you hear it, you hear. So when this gentleman told me, it's hard for me to believe it, but I embraced it and I said, come on, it's fine.
Yeah.
Zaid Omar wil vir hom kwaai. FC Kapstadt wil vir hom kwaai. It's fine. I embrace it. I'm going to make it. I'm actually going to do it as part of a brand.
It's not a bad idea.
A t-shirt.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea. Yeah.
I'll buy one.
Yeah. I'm in.
Start a brand.
And
You've heard it here first. We start.
Yeah, 100%.
Beautiful. Mr. Omar, it's been an honor. Thank you
Pleasure.
for making time to sit down with us.